Let's take a look inside this 1/35 scale Mini Art Kugelpanzer, or in easier words, ball tank. When we crack open the box, there's one bag. The instructions start off showing 3 different styles on one side and 3 different styles on this side for 6 different styles to paint it. Then it gets into part details. This is a full interior kit with an engine, a cage, pretty intense here. And then the finished product. Decals. Do 6 different versions. And there's the ball tread. Something. Looks like part of the cage. Both these trees are the same. Couple small trees. And several of these. More ball tread. Looks nice and detailed. Couple of these. And the engine. And the last tree. A lot of parts in this little ball. To start off with, on the ball tank, we are getting all our sub-assemblies done. And we've got the engine completely finished and the roller wheel finished. And here's the engine. Various different colors and washes. And the roller wheel is finished with various different colors and washes also. And those two will go on. Got the seats finished. All those are done. And then the gas tank is finished up. These rings went together real well. These little pieces just went on. And then we're working on cleaning all these pieces up right here. The guns were actually 4 pieces. And they're tiny little guys. But it went together real well. And these little packs, I've got them all painted up. And then I'll detail those. Also on the ball itself, there are a couple indentations right in here that need filled, probably from that back there. And I'll fill those with putty. Then this piece right here, it needs to extend out more. The details are very soft. So what I've done on this one is I've scraped it down so it extends out more, and I also filled those 2 spots. Also, what I've done on this is I've roughed up the shell. And the way I did that is I took my Tamiya thin, put it on there in an area about the size of a nickel, and then I took a paintbrush and just stippled it. And I did that through the whole entire thing, and it gave it a little bit of a coating. You can see the difference between the one that's been done and the one that hasn't. And if you don't want to take an X-Acto knife going all the way around this thing to lower plastic to raise him, you could always sand that off and put a little circle on there and try to add 3 little tiny rivets or bolt detail. So that's one way you could do that, or you can do it this way, the way I did it, by taking an X-Acto knife and just scraping all the way around. It's time consuming, but it works. It comes up like that. Much better detail. And I think the roughed up ball is going to look better than without. So it's coming along. Then the other thing I've done is on the tire treads, there's 4 of them. And on the back of each one, you have your injector marks. 2 of them are in, 2 of them are sticking out. I sanded those down because that's going to show up inside. So all those are sanded. And something else I've started to do when this ball tread gets put together, going all the way around to make one tread, I've started already. I sanded him down flat because that's round and it looks like a brand spanking new tire. So I'm kind of making it look old. Chipping up the tire, chipping up the edges. Little chunks are kind of coming out. Flattening him down. So I'm starting on getting this more weathered, more used up. So when it all comes together, I won't have hardly anything to do, if anything at all. So I think that looks a little bit better than something brand new. And here's a neat little tip I want to share with you. On all the parts trees, every parts tree is labeled. This one is an A, but that's hard to see when all your parts trees are laying around. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of tape and labeled every single one. So when it's laying on the bench a few feet away, you can see exactly what tree it is, which is really neat. And what we're going to do next is get the engine mated together onto the roller and get it put in its cradle. Then I can start getting all that put together. I haven't decided what color I'm going to paint the inside yet. I think I'm going to go with this color. Getting these 2 halves made is going to be really fun. There's our seats and bullet packs and machine guns. I'm thinking about doing some seat belts and photo etch seat belts. It's such a small scale, I don't have anything, so I'll scratch build it. And we're getting the inside of the door hatches weathered. The inside of the ball tank is painted. It's coming along. Getting ready to start putting the 2 halves together. There's a lot of pieces that you have to get lined up. What's that game called where you stack the blocks and see how high you can go? Jenga? That's what I was thinking about when I was doing this. We scratch built some seat belts for the ball tank, and I think I'm just going to go with a skull on the door. Got the outside of the ball masked off, and we're going to paint it khaki. We got our halves painted. Looking pretty good. The tire treads that go on the ball tank are 4 of those pieces. So when you put them on, you got a little bit of gap in between each one. That's what I like to use to fill the gaps. This Vallejo plastic putty. Works really good. Got the tires and suspension on. Looks like it's doing really good. I'm thinking about putting the ball tank on a frame, not on a frame, but on a base. And I picked up from the Dollar Tree a couple frames, 4x6 and a 5x7, because I'm not exactly sure on the width of that when it sits down on here what I'm going to do. So what I'll do, this one's already painted black, which is neat. Nice little edge, so I don't have to do anything with the edges on that. But I'll fill it with a little bit of dirt and set the ball tank in there. And if this frame isn't wide enough, I'll use this 5x7. But on the 5x7, I'll have to obviously take this gold and brown and paint it probably black or something if I decide to use this one. Then of course put dirt inside this one and put the ball tank in that one. So little tip there, you can pick up some neat frames from the Dollar Tree for a buck a piece. They've got them all sizes, from smaller than 4x6 all the way up to 8x10. Had a lot of nice selection of frames there. It's looking like I'm going to be able to go with this little 4x6 frame. It just fits in there. And of course I don't have this bottom tread on yet, because something I'm thinking about doing is putting dirt in here and then trying to use this to make an indent into the dirt like it drove to that spot. So we're going to play around with that and see what we can do. Got the ball tank finished up. This was a fun build. A little bit challenging, but it was fun. We'll swing it around here and take a look at all the sides. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to see more cool builds coming up on Throttle Power.